to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I deliver it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And we are celebrating today, as we do every day, Ron Siegel Radio, World Trick Shot Day. International Ninja Day.
What's the big idea?
And National, I don't even know what this one is. Sausage Tort Day. What is a sausage tort? Although it looks pretty good. Always observed on December 5th. Sausage tort, a unique type of chocolate cake or tort that was invented by Australian Franz Sausage in 1832. One of Vienna's most famous culinary specialties. Looks pretty good there. And I was actually just looking at the National Bathtub Party Day. Oh. Yeah, I was kind of surprised that you'd have a bathtub party day. But they show a picture of little munchkins in a bathtub. I'm not sure that we can have a bathtub party at this in this time in our environment, in our political or our cultural environment. It might cause a little problems. I shared a photo the other day saying, maybe this isn't the year for mistletoe at the company office party either. Just a thought right there. Could pose a little bit of a problem. Moving right along, checking on the markets this morning. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 42 points. Wow.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Dow hasn't been going down at all lately, so I was seeing a down day. It's pretty shocking. When was the last time that we had a down day on the Dow? It's been going pretty seriously straight up. I'm looking last Thursday, we were at 23.9, and now we're at 24,250. We were as high as 24,500 on the Dow. So we are moving right up. Oil up a penny, so it's no big deal there. And then we look at the financial market, or the bond markets. That's one of the biggies that we're looking at all the time, because that's what's controlling the housing market. So we're looking 10-year Treasury up 1 basis point, no big deal there at 2.37. We look at the 30-year, Fannie Mae 30-year bond, or the mortgage-backed securities. That's the mortgage-backed security. Whenever you hear the word security or bond, if that goes up, so the mortgage-backed securities are up 3 basis points, nothing of any consequence there. That means interest rates, if it was consequential, they would be going down, but it's not a real consequential number. Nothing really to be too concerned with on that number as it is. But we'll continue to watch it. S&P 500 up 7.86. So we see a little bit of a mixed market right there with the Dow Jones Industrial Average down, the S&P 500 up. So we got a little bit of mixture going on there. Let's move right along. What is happening in the world of finance. So we'll share that one with you first. Then we'll get over, if I can get the report to show up on my screen here. It doesn't want to participate with me. It's amazing how sometimes these reports they don't want to come out and show their face. So there we go. Got it to wake up here. Because there's a lot of interesting information there when we're looking at what's happening in the markets. So ADP coming out with their report and the Bureau of Labor Statistics coming out with their jobs report. ADP, I think, is tomorrow. The BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, comes out on Friday. Expecting about 185,000 jobs created for the month of November. Now, here's some interesting information. CoreLogic released their home price index report for October, showing that home prices rose 0.9%. That was in the month of October. 7% on a year-over-year basis. The October reading is 7%. It's unchanged from September. CoreLogic forecasts that home prices will appreciate 4.2% in the year going forward, which is a drop from last month's forecast of 4.7%. So they feel that not going to be quite as big a growth next year as what they thought it was going to be last month. They just watch where the markets are going. Still a very, very solid figure, especially considering that they are known to be conservative on their forward estimates. Las Vegas, Denver, San Diego led the gains. And I'm going to share with you today, in the next segment, what's happening in our markets. We're going to look at the real estate report cards for Orange County, San Diego County, Riverside County. So we'll get into some of those different numbers in the next segment. But just to give you an idea that we are showing some real strong numbers going forward. Just a little bit of financial news. We'll have a lot more financial news in the next few days this week. What's going on in other news around? Holy cow, Democrats open a new front in their war on Trump. It's amazing how the Democrats just continue. They're not interested in what's good for America. Pretty fascinating. What's good for America is irrelevant to Democrats. What's good for all they care about. You listen to Nancy Pelosi. Armageddon is her term for what we're going to see if the Republican tax bill passes. Armageddon. Really? Now, I shared with you yesterday that you can go and find out exactly what the two different bills, the way they are right now, will do for your family. You can text the word tax plan, no space, tax plan, to 79564. Tax plan to 79564 to tell you exactly what your taxes would look like under the new program. And you can compare them to what they were last year. You can also go to mbelinks.com, maryboyedwardlinks.com/tax plan. That'll give you the same information as far as getting to that tax plan calculator. But the accusations of collusion apparently come up empty, so President Trump's legion of enemies are pinning their hopes on other ways to cripple his administration or get him out of office. Senator Richard Blumenthal and others now contend that the president may be guilty of obstruction of justice because of his tweets and actions in the Michael Flynn situation. But the president's lawyers argue that their client cannot be found guilty of obstruction because he's the chief law enforcement officer in the nation. So how can he be obstructing himself? It's the FBI works technically for the president. That's the executive branch. The FBI actually works for the Department of Justice, which works for the president. So it's like saying the enlisted men in the military really work for their superiors, the generals, the colonels, the generals, whatever, up to the president. So they can't be really found guilty of obstructing what he's requiring or requesting or directing indirectly. Unbelievable. And just in case the Mueller probe or charges of obstruction don't stick, his most virulent enemies are now going on television to declare him mentally incompetent. MSNBC Hee Haw, which is leading the charge, reached a new low when it welcomed a Yale psychologist who ominously warned that we must act soon to stop the president from growing more unhinged and violent. Have we seen anything that's violent yet? I know that Syria may not be too happy about those missiles that went over there, but it sure seemed like it did a little benefit for our military. Maybe it's the MSNBC hee-haw that is, maybe they're the ones that have some, we need to question their sanity. And John Conyers this morning announced that he is retiring immediately. His son will take, or he's endorsing his son to take his place. And the Republican Party, they're backing Roy Moore again. Now they've come out. Eric Cantor came out this morning and said under his tenure, they would never have supported Roy Moore, even though he's only been accused of inappropriate contact 40 years ago. Isn't that a surprise that somebody that was in their 30s was wanting to date? That's really a surprising issue. Unbelievable. ABC's Brian Ross talking more about his long history of errors. Brian Ross sent stock markets into a panic mode last Friday when he reported that then-candidate Donald Trump ordered his aides to make contact with Russia. Now, isn't that what they're supposed to be doing during those times? Aren't they supposed to be during the transition, establishing relationships with those who they're going to work for? But apparently, Brian Ross is not new to coming up with some of these fake news stories. In 2006, ABC News investigative reporter Brian Ross went on air with a big scoop. Pakistani officials, he reported, had arrested Madir Rahman, an al-Qaeda explosives expert who kept an official list of terrorist recruits. Ross suggested the arrest could lead to Osama bin Laden, the al-Qaeda leader, who was a fugitive at the time. One problem: Rahman hadn't been arrested. A Pakistani foreign ministry official denied the story, calling it fictitious. Fake news. ABC retracted it. A few months earlier, Ross had another exclusive. House Speaker Dennis Hastert was under FBI investigation for bribery in the Jack Abramoff lobbying scandal. Only that wasn't clear either. In an unusual move, the Justice Department issued public statements denying any federal probe of Hastert, who demanded a retraction and threatened to sue ABC. The network's veteran reporter stood by his story, but later conceded it's really a question of semantics about the meaning of under investigation. Amazing. So I guess we should know that Ross is used to doing these things. We can probably don't want to be giving too much credence to anything Brian Ross has to say, apparently. Just a thought for you, moving right along. What else do we have in the news here? Let's see what else might be of interest. Focus. Peter Strzok, the FBI agent who was deeply involved in the Hillary Clinton interrogation, actually softened the language in then FBI Director James Comey's famous statement last July. Instead of accusing Mrs. Clinton of gross negligence, which can be considered criminal, Strzok altered the statement to read extremely careless. Now well known that Strzok, who has since been demoted to FBI's version of Siberia, was a bona fide Trump hater. So you've got somebody with a agenda being the one that's doing the investigation. Interesting. Former Trump campaign boss, short time, Paul Manafort, who has been charged with money laundering and fraud, is under a court order that bars him from discussing his case in public, but he is now accused of working with a Russian colleague to write an opinion piece about his work for Ukraine. Robert Mueller's investigators say the article, had it been published, would have violated the court order. Manafort is under house arrest and is not allowed to leave his Virginia home except under special circumstances. Supreme Court yesterday okayed the travel ban for now, saying that California courts, the Fifth Circuit, doesn't know what they're talking about once again, and they overruled them. President Trump shrinking the federal footprint. Apparently some environmentalists are not too happy about that. He's scaling back the size of 2 national lands in Utah, turning it back over to Utah, saying the federal government does not have the right to deal with this. And the American Civil Liberties Union has honored quarterback Colin Kaepernick for his courage and for his willingness to protest perceived injustice. What a crock of garbage that is. Unbelievable. Joy Behar, sorry. Well, she came out and she was so excited to see all the news about the president, the fake news. She went right on air with it. Again, Ms. Behar is a known anti-Trumper, anti-American. and I just use those very, very interchangeable now. Anti-Trump to me equals anti-American, because you should, whether you voted for him or not, you should hope that he does well, because that would mean America is doing well. If you're rooting for the president to fail, that means you're rooting for America to fail. Just a simple correlation. Now, you may want to challenge his ideas, his policies. I think that's great. But wanting him to fail just doesn't make any sense to me. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. A couple of shout-outs this morning. Let's see if I can get those to pop up on my screen here. Roger, good morning. Libby, good morning. John, Rosemarie, Edwin, Chris, Dolliver, Scott, Brandy, Arn. Glad to see you all with us. Hit some like buttons on there if you're still watching, if you're joining us, if you're enjoying the broadcast. And if you got any questions, feel free to put them in there as well. When we come back, 7 steps to help you get out of your rental lease, 8 things to avoid when shopping for rewards credit cards. Why is there so much paperwork required to get a mortgage? We've got a lot to chat about today. You can reach me anytime off air. Number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, MLS 21037, and DRE number 018699452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. At 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today. Being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Also, if you would like, send your street address to nest at ronsiegelradio.com, and we'll put you on a email or a texting list so that every time a new home sells in your neighborhood, you get a text message. Gotta love it. That group at Nest does a great job for the listeners of Ron Siegel Radio. Good morning to Renata, Samir, Pam, Don, Janice. Glad to see you all with us this morning. Steps to help you get out of a rental lease is the subject of today's real-time real estate segment. Whether you're renting an apartment, a house, duplex, or your home ought to feel like a safe place, one that's comfortable and secure. But what happens if something alters that safe place? Can you break your lease? And what happens if you do? Is your credit doomed? To help navigate these troubling waters, I am going to cover common reasons tenants want to break their lease and what you should do if you're ready to break yours. So there are a variety of reasons people want to terminate their lease, but some may apply, some may not. The rental unit is uninhabitable. A landlord is obligated to perform general property maintenance and ensure the property adheres to health and safety codes. Circumstances that could make a property uninhabitable include the presence of black mold, a lack of running water, or a lack of proper waste disposal. The landlord illegally entered your rental space. Landlords must provide legitimate reasoning as to why they are entering your home. Third, you are on active military duty. You can get out of your lease for that. 4, you are a victim of domestic violence. Number 5, the rental space falls into foreclosure or is illegally rented to you. So what to do if you need to break your lease, if you need to get out of the lease? Some essentials. Number 1, read your lease and document everything. Before you take action, be sure to look over your lease. Read it 3 times. Your lease should spell out the procedures and penalties for canceling early. The lease that you signed that no one reads, that's going to control how difficult or expensive it will be to break a lease. Just don't make up problems with the property that don't exist to get out of your current lease. Try to be open and honest and approach your landlord in a nice and friendly manner. However, if there are problems and you feel the landlord isn't adequately fixing them, put the complaints and problems in writing. Just make sure you keep a copy of the document for your records. And if push comes to shove, carefully look over your lease for details that cover what happens if you terminate the lease early, including whether you'll be held responsible for the entire remaining term of the lease or a lesser amount. In many states, landlords can't use the fact that you left early as a windfall. However, if they can only rent the unit at a lower rate than you are paying for the remainder of your lease, you may be required to make up the cost difference. You may also have to pay for the advertising costs to find a replacement tenant. Number 2, communicate thoroughly. Let your landlord know what you want to do and why you want to terminate the lease. Some may be more flexible than others. A large property management company might be unsympathetic to your financial woes, but an individual owner might be more compassionate. Also, as difficult as it may be, try to think of the circumstances from a landlord's perspective. Terminating a lease early may put an owner-landlord into a financial bind, especially if they have to spend time and money securing a new tenant. It's not out of the question to assist your landlord in finding an adequate replacement, but it's ultimately their decision. Number 3, get confirmations in writing. Make sure you get written confirmation of any changes to the lease. If your landlord says you can move out early with a small penalty or no penalty, get that in writing. Never rely on a verbal agreement, otherwise it will be your word against theirs. You may be tempted to keep things cordial and light, but a handshake isn't going to help you pay off a creditor or debt collector. Store these written confirmations in a safe place. You'll remember it won't do you any good if you can't find that information when a collection agency contacts you. And should you end up in collections or in court, the written terms in the lease will prevail. Don't forget the walkthrough. No matter how anxious or excited you are to move out, protect yourself from unexpected charges by doing a walkthrough with your landlord and getting a written record of the results. We wouldn't recommend leaving your rental until you're able to do this. Should your landlord refuse to do a walkthrough, take detailed pictures or better yet, video of the property's status the day you leave. Number 5, don't make assumptions when it comes to breaking your lease. Avoid assumptions. Specifically, don't assume your security deposit will take care of any remaining balances or fees you owe. When you are breaching the contract, it doesn't always entitle the landlord to scoop up your security deposit. For example, in some states, the landlord has to go to the housing court to file a complaint in order to take that security deposit. Similarly, if you live with a roommate and you pay your portion of the rent but your roommate does not, this missing payment has financial repercussions. If you both sign the lease, you're both fully responsible for the entire rent check, regardless of what the two of you have worked out between yourselves. But if your name is the only one on the lease, you may be the one stuck holding the bag. Number 6, know that there are exceptions to the rules. You may have legitimate reasons for breaking a lease that aren't spelt out in the actual lease, like a safety or health reason directly connected to the property. There may be state-specific laws that allow you to break a lease early. For example, in Washington, one legitimate reason for terminating a lease is the landlord failing to make certain types of repairs within a specific period of time, as long as mold isn't part of the problem. And number 7, get help. Landlord-tenant laws are state-specific, so it's a good idea to research your rights as a tenant before signing your name on the dotted line. You may be able to get help from legal aid programs, a local housing agency, or a consumer protection attorney in your state. Whatever the reason, keep detailed, legible records of what transpired long after you think you'll need them. 7 years is usually safe. Also, frequently review your credit report and credit scores to make sure you're aware of any significant changes. Don't forget EquifaxSecurity2017.com. EquifaxSecurity2017.com, and you can get a copy of your credit report, and they will monitor your credit for you for free based on them having lost your credit information or potentially lost your credit information at one time or another. That's the real time. Real estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, things to avoid when shopping for rewards, the real estate report card for several Southern California counties, and why is there so much paperwork required to get a mortgage? All that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender. Licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs for you, including the Fast Pass loan approval. Only one with the Fast Pass loan approval. Save $10,000 to $50,000 potentially when you're buying a home with that Fast Pass. Why is there so much paperwork mandated by the lenders for a mortgage loan application when buying a home today? Seems they need to know everything about you and requires 3 separate sources to validate each and every entry on the application form. Many buyers are being told by friends and family that the process was 100 times easier when they bought their home 10 to 20 years ago. 2 very good reasons that the loan process is much more onerous on today's buyer than perhaps any time in history. 1, the government has set new guidelines that now demand that the bank proves beyond any doubt that you are indeed capable of paying the mortgage. During the run-up to the housing crisis, many people qualified for mortgages that they could never pay back. This led to millions of families losing their home. The government wants to make sure this can't happen again. The banks don't want to be in the real estate business. Over the last 7 years, banks were forced to take on the responsibility of liquidating millions of foreclosures and also negotiating another million-plus short sales. Just like the government, they don't want more foreclosures. For that reason, they need to double, maybe even triple check everything on the application. However, there is some good news in the situation. The housing crash that mandated that banks be extremely strict on paperwork requirements also allowed you to get a mortgage interest rate around 4%. The friends and family who bought homes 10 or 20 years ago experienced a simpler mortgage application process, but also paid a higher interest rate. The average 30-year fixed-rate mortgage was 8.12%, 8.12% in the 90s, and 6.29% in the 2000s. If you went to the bank and offered to pay 7% instead of around 4%, they'd probably bend over backward to make the process much easier. Bottom line, instead of concentrating on the additional paperwork required, let's be thankful that we were able to buy a home at historically low interest rates, costing you significantly less money. That's the Mortgage Minute. Again, brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. Get that fast pass as quick as you can. So I thought I'd share with you today some report card. Well, actually, let's first go into the buy versus rent. I want to share this with you. I love this information. I shared this. This was actually prepared for a veteran locally right here in Southern California. He's contemplating. He's got a $1,900 rent payment. It keeps going up every single year. Well, we find out that on average in Orange County, California, rent goes up by about a little over 4% annually. It's about 4.1% is the last number that I saw on rental appreciation. So he's looking at a $1,900 rent. So he figured, well, and he doesn't want to go too much more than that. So we actually started looking and saying, what's that going to do on a $425,000 purchase or a home purchase price? So the first thing you look at and you say, okay, monthly, the cash flow, monthly expense, we're looking at $2,540 a month when you look at purchasing, give or take. I just want to use Freddie Mac numbers. I don't want to have to go into all the APR. I'll tell you the interest rate we do is 4.25, APR 4.27, 25% tax bracket. Those are some of the assumptions that we used here. So $1,882, principal and interest, property taxes and insurance $492. Maintenance and repairs we put in there for $167. You're going to pay that in a rent in the rental payment, so you got to compare apples and apples. Monthly expense then comes out to $2,540. Now, be aware that this gentleman was putting nothing down. He's a veteran, doesn't have to put any down payment. So, and he also has no mortgage insurance. So he's looking at $2,500 a month, $2,540 by buying, versus we've called it $1,920 in year one for the rent, because he does have to pay some renter's insurance, not a whole lot. But think of this, that $2,540 will be his payment for the next 30 years or until he pays off the property, which he can do at any time, no prepayment penalty. Now, the rent is going to continue to go up. So by year 9, his rent is at $2,640 a month, more than the monthly payment on the purchase. And then you look at the difference, so that comes out to about $30,000 in cash difference. But let's think about what that does for the whole process. So, the gain through appreciation, based on a historic numbers, Orange County 5.04%, 9 years, $236,578 in appreciation. Good morning, Caprice. Glad to see you with us this morning. Equity through amortization, he's going to have another $69,000 in equity there. And the tax benefits under today's current law, about $24,000. Put all that together, the net gain by buying a home, $255,582 over 9 years. $255,582, $250,000 more in net worth, or by buying the home. Think about that concept. You got savings, forced savings, you've got appreciation. All of those go into it. So $255,000 right there. Think about some of those numbers. Now, what we want to then know is it a good buy? So let's think, or is it a good time to buy? What are the numbers saying? Let's look at the real estate report card for Orange County. So right now, and the reason I tell you about the whole report card is, and if you want a copy of the report card for your county anywhere, just let me know. Ron at ronsiegelradio.com. I'll send it to you. The reason we look at the report card is we want to know a lot of different statistics, because there are some people out there, especially now that we're at the holiday time, that are starting to come up with the malarkey that we might be in another bubble. Well, the numbers do not share that. So the year-over-year inventory, this talks about supply and demand. So there's not a lot of supply. Year over year, we're down 12% in inventory. Month over month, down 7%. The median home price, Orange County, California, is $774,960. That is a 10.35% increase over last year, 26.08 cumulative over the last 5 years. And again, historically, 42% over the last 42 years. They come up with that because that's how far back the data goes. 5.04%. Now think about that. When you start talking about 5.04% appreciation over 42 years, that's going to take into account the boom, the bust, the bubble, the early 90s when we had a downturn in real estate, 2000 in the dot-com bubble. All of that is in there. Unemployment in Orange County, 3.72%. Median household income, $84,000 a year. The national average is $51,000 median household income. So all these numbers make it sound like Orange County is doing really well if you're looking in the real estate world. So let's then look at San Diego, for those of you in the San Diego market. Inventory down 28%, month over month down 4%. Median household price, $587,000 in San Diego. 42-year average appreciation is 4.86%, almost 5% appreciation. 12.01 for the year. In the last 5 years, cumulative, 32.25. Again, we look at the national average of household income, $51,000 is the national average, $72,795 is the average in San Diego, with a 4.18% unemployment. Again, when you look at all these different numbers, people are working, people are making money, there's not a lot of supply of homes available, yet people still want to move because they're getting married, they're having babies, they are growing their families. All that is what's telling us what their motivations are. Yet we're not getting that movement that we had been, so supply is down, but demand continues to grow. That's the important part. We'll continue our report card review when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We will also chat about things to avoid when shopping for a rewards card. We might even get into some credit report questions or credit questions. Get them a lot of them on a regular basis, so we might share some of those as well. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 0186945 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. In the Your Credit Matters segment today, brought to you by AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. Are you 62 years of age or older, have some equity in your property? Let's think about that one. Then a reverse mortgage may be the right solution for you. I don't know whether it is or it is not, but it may be. And the only way you're going to ever find out is if you do some homework, if you find out if it is right for you. You got to do your homework. You got to get educated. If you give me a call at 800-306-1990, I'll put you in touch with Jay Kaplan. He is the mortgage or the reverse mortgage guru, the go-to man that I recommend folks speak with. Let's chat about some things to avoid when shopping for rewards cards. What are rewards cards? Those are basically the credit cards that are going to give you something back, a percentage, an airline mile, a hotel mile, something along those lines. So with that in mind, let's look at features that may sound great at first glance, but might end up being a waste of money. Small sign-up bonuses. These are points or cash backs that can jumpstart your rewards account or be applied to other issues such as travel or statement credits. The larger the bonus, the higher the appeal. Note, though, that some issuers such as Chase and American Express limit the number of cards you can apply for to deter card churners, consumers who open and close cards just to get the sign-up bonus. If you potentially have only one shot at getting a good bonus for signing up, you want to make it count. High initial spending requirement. Big rewards come at a cost. Many rewards cards often require you to spend a minimum amount over a certain period, generally 3 months before your bonus is awarded. That sum ranges widely from $500 to thousands of dollars. If the minimum spend is too steep for your budget, it's a major red flag. Typically, the more bonus points you get when you sign up, the higher the minimum spend. The card doesn't fit your lifestyle. Now, why would you want a card that does not fit your lifestyle? The sweetest credit card offer isn't worth it if the card fails to meet your particular goals. For example, a hotel-affiliated rewards card won't do you much good if you're a big Airbnb fan. The upshot, you need to determine whether a travel card or cashback card will best fit how you'll use the rewards. Something else to look out for, a low point accrual or at least a formula that doesn't align with your purchasing habits. A card that gives you 2% back on travel and 1% for other expenses isn't a great fit if you're using it primarily for grocery shopping and other day purchases. Travel cards tied to a specific chain. This is one, when they first came out, American Airlines came out with their card and were very early. We could only use it on American Airlines and their dates were always blacked out. So it wasn't the greatest card in the world. If you're just getting your feet wet with rewards cards, choices that tie you to a particular hotel chain or airline might not be the best bet. Instead, you may want the freedom to explore different options. In that case, a general purpose travel rewards card will give you more flexibility, not enough of the right perks. Your card may offer extras, but not ones you care about. For example, if you don't do a lot of international travel, then a card that reimburses you for TSA pre-check or global entry fees won't be useful. Be careful of high annual fees. Some of the cards have a big fee just so you can get those points. What would happen if you paid for the points yourself? Just a thought. And points that expire. It will be a bummer to earn all those rewards only to have them disappear if you don't use them in time. For example, with the City Advantage Platinum Select World Elite MasterCard and United Mileage Plus, your points can expire after 18 months if you don't take steps to keep them active, such as earning or redeeming miles. Relying on Discover or American Express if you travel abroad in many countries, MasterCard and Visa are accepted just about everywhere. Less so for American Express and Discover, so be careful of those as well. So you just want to watch out. Don't get mixed up in something that really doesn't make any sense for you. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, again, brought to you by AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. Again, I'd share with you, it's the basis information. Get educated. You always want it. It can never hurt you to be educated. That's just one of the big issues. Never hurts to be educated. So go for it. Do it. Checking out more of the real estate report cards so you understand what is happening in the marketplace. The Los Angeles County report card. Here we're looking at inventory. Year over year is down 11%. There's 10,544 homes for sale in Los Angeles. This goes, the numbers we look at, 10,544 year over year, down 11%. Month over month is down 5%. Median home price, Los Angeles, $528,910. 42-year history is up 4.97%. Last year, Los Angeles County up 15.5%. Way too high. Got to be careful. Anytime you see some of those really, really good numbers, or what looks like a good number, if it goes up that fast, it can come down that fast. So be careful. 5-year appreciation, cumulative, 46.14%. It's because there was a lot of distressed property in Los Angeles County. Looking at 4.97 is the 42-year average in Los Angeles. Median income, $64,000 in Los Angeles. Again, the national average, $51,000. And the unemployment rate for LA County, 4.7%. So the only one that we didn't look at yet is our friends in Riverside. That covers the Coachella Valley, Palm Springs, Palm Desert, La Quinta. So we're down 10% in inventory there, 3%. That's year over year. Month over month is 3%. Well, 4.07 is the 42-year historical average. 13.66 is the 1-year forecast. And 26.51 is the 5-year forecast. Average cost per square foot in Riverside, $193. You're looking at a median household income of $61,000. So see how they vary. $51,000 is, again, the national average, and 5.52 is the unemployment rate right there in Riverside County. So that gives you just some ideas of how the real estate market is doing. And it all brings us full circle because we started our conversation about getting out of a lease and buying a new home. I'm going to suggest that we just came out yesterday with our home buyer's guide, things to consider when buying a home. If you want a copy of it, text HBG, home buyer's guide, HBG, to 79564. It's about a 23-page book. We come out with them every quarter. They're free. Gives you some reasons to buy a home, what the home prices look like year over year. Is it cheaper to buy or to rent? Give you that information. Talk about interest rates. We spoke about that a little bit earlier as well. Things to know before you buy, what to expect when buying. All of that is part of the Home Buyer's Guide. Again, we just released it yesterday. We do these every quarter. We come out with a free new book for you every single quarter. So this is the winter guide. Just a thought for you. Come out there and let's get you that winter edition and see how that works out for you. And remember, when you're looking at the numbers, I shared this with you earlier in the broadcast. If you didn't catch the full report, check back on it. Buying versus renting, a $1,900 rent payment versus a $425,000 loan. Let's just think about that. Puts an extra $250,000 in net worth into your pocket. A little over $250,000. Does this happen for everybody? No. All of the numbers I share with you. We look at forecasts. Thursday or Wednesday, we're coming out. Chapman University comes out with their economic forecast. All the numbers we share are forecast numbers. Does it mean it's going to happen? No. Does it mean that it has happened? When we talk about forecasts, they're always based on history. And when I was at Chapman, they used to talk about the definition of economics. And it's basically the idea of studying the past, understanding the present, in order to try to predict the future. Do we know what the future will be? No. But we're going to try and get you as good an information as we can for that. And that's why we talk about these every day. That's why I ask you every day to set that first radio preset button, to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house, your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just... Actually, we won't even be back. Make a lot of money. Got the wrong thought there. Make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun, have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.